Hi, folks. It's Dr. Christine Sauer here.
Hey everybody, it's Gary Daniel here. So happy to be here with you all today.
So we are just getting together because we are building a business together for quite a year, and we are for a good year. And we talked about how we can create a show because we both love watching shows. We both know a lot of topics, and we want to share what we learned in our together. I would say over 70 years in business and over 100 years of life. I can say that without giving away anything, right? So we want to show you how we built a successful YouTube show.
Yes, so this is Christine and I are having a great discussion today, and we're on camera every day with each other, talking about our business, growing our business, working through the challenges of being an entrepreneur. And we had the great idea of actually taping it, making a show around that so people can learn as we learn, as we're all learning together. And I think that's important. And people, I think, will find interest in the topics that we get into.
Yeah, you're right. And we founded the 5D Wellness Community just for that purpose, to bring everybody together to learn together, because we are lifelong learners. We don't stop learning. So I started actually by asking Gary a question. And I said, Gary, what are you an expert on? And then I wrote all the answers. I gave him time and ask him a few more questions. I gave him time, and Gary knows so much more things that he's passionate about, because that's really when you're an expert on something. You're passionate, you love talking about it, you love reading, learning about it. Well, if you know all that, why wouldn't you share it with those who are also interested, but maybe on the beginning of their journey, right, Gary?
Exactly, Christine. You said it so well. I think that that is very important. And I think people need to hear these things. People want to have discussion, especially now. We're in a place in the world where we need real conversations, about things that matter. Not all the noise that's out there in the world. There's a lot of that. There's too much of that. People are overstimulated. Let's talk about the real things that actually help people, help people grow, help people thrive, help people feel good. People remember the way you make them feel, right? Well, we want to make people feel good, and we can all do that together. And my favorite thing is connecting with everybody out there, all of you. And so, if we could do that on a weekly basis and talk about topics that people are interested in and want to hear more about, I'm all about that. Let's do it. What do you think, Christine?
I think that's great. I love sharing what I know. I love teaching. I've been told I'm pretty good at what I know. I know a lot, which is totally useless if you don't know how to apply it and you don't implement it. And that's where we see most people struggle. That's why we did the business in a box, to help people implement. But first they need to know that it's the right place for them. And the only way for people to know that you're the right practitioner or the right place for them to work with is to get to know you. Unless you're a filthy rich guy that does millions in marketing, we don't have that, right? Like you, when you're listening to that, we are not rich. We make enough, we have enough to live. What do people need to live these days, Gary? What do you think?
Well, I don't, I really don't know. Everybody's different. And I'm very happy at where I am now in life. And I've gotten to a point where I can work on things that I am passionate about. And I am very passionate about helping others and sharing the things that I've learned over time. And it's been quite a journey. And I've learned a lot, and I learn a lot from Christine every day. I mean, she's brilliant. I love to pick her brain, and I do it all the time. And so much so that I was thinking this would be great for other people need to hear this. And we have such great conversations on a daily basis. And I always tell Christine, there's so many hidden gems in our conversations that people would love to hear about. So then we decided, well, why don't we start doing just that? Let's record it. Let's put it out there so everybody can learn
So
and
I
grow
went
with
in
us.
and said, just hit the damn button, and I did. And so now we are recording, and you can see it. And we have no idea if anybody will ever watch it. It's okay.
Yeah, this is totally impromptu right now. We're having this conversation, so we hit the button record, but we are going to start. producing a weekly show where it will be a little more structured and we'll have a topic that we'll discuss that, that people have interest in. But right now we just got so excited that we said, well, let's just record and start talking. So that's what we're doing.
I made a list here. I mean, that's an advantage of Zoom. It has that note feature. So I use it, and Gary uses it too. And we share the notes in the meeting so we both can have a look. And while Gary told me all the things he knows a lot about and is passionate about, I wrote them down. And one of the things Gary knows about it, and maybe we'll take a minute per topic only to not bore you to death here. But I mean, the topics are fascinating by itself, and we all need to know more about it. But Gary, tell us for maybe a minute for each topic that you're passionate about, why you're passionate about that particular thing. Let's start with fasting.
Ooh, good one. One of my favorites, Christine. When I left the corporate world 5 years ago, in 2020, almost 6 years now, my health was in decline, right? I was working in this toxic environment and I was neglecting my health, wasn't really paying attention. I think I was kind of blind to any nagging symptoms that I had. I didn't even realize I was having these symptoms. When I left that world, I really jumped into heavy research into how I can make myself feel better on a daily basis. I started acknowledging those symptoms, and a lot of it was from probably poor diet and drinking too much, having a good time. I mean, I thought I was on top of the world. I was loving life so much, eating and drinking anything I wanted, no discipline. Well, my research brought me to fasting. I love fasting. I think it was probably the biggest and most important thing I've ever done in my life. It helped me really learn about discipline and also connect spiritually. I wanted to connect to God more so as much as possible, and I found that through my research that fasting, removing all the stuff from the body that creates blockages, um, was important for me to just flush everything through. I always joke around and say it's like a factory reset for the body. And I believe that wholeheartedly. I feel it. My body has healed since then. I got off over a handful of medications. I no longer have any nagging symptoms. I got my gut health in order, which gut health is super important. It really changes everything. And I learned a lot about that through Christine too, and my research. And she's an expert on gut health. Actually wrote a book about it. You should check it out. And so fasting not only helped me with my health and my spirituality. I feel more connected to God than ever, which I love. It feels great. And I my energy is so just off the charts. I feel so great all the time. So that's definitely fasting is definitely a topic I'd like to get deeply into and have a whole show around that. That's definitely a whole show. That topic is so big and I think it's so important. And I think it's so underrated. People don't understand. But I mean, it talks about it in the Bible. It says that there are um, some things, challenges that can only be handled through prayer and fasting. You can only remove certain demons through prayer and fasting. It says that. And I believe that because I've done it and I love it and I feel great. And it really changed my life. It really has.
Didn't Jesus fast when he was in the desert? 40 days fast?
40 days, 40 days. I've never gone. I think the longest I've gone is 7 days. I've done 7 days several times. I've been fasting now for I'd say about 4 years. 4 to 5 years. I've done multiple 7 day fasts. I love 3 to 5 days. It's great. Um, I live by an 18-6 split, which means I fast 18 hours every day and I eat within a 6 hour window. That seems to be the best for me. My body really excels at that level, and I feel like I am achieving peak performance as far as energy and focus and clarity goes. So I do an 18-6 every day, And then, I do a 3 day, probably uh, quarterly, I'd say, and a 7 day, probably every twice a year, 6 months. That's how I do it, and I feel great. That it's perfect for me. Everybody's different, and of course, when it comes to fasting, you probably want to check with your primary care physician and all that stuff to be covered, right? I don't know if it's for everybody, but for me, it's been huge.
Now, generally speaking, and as a physician, I have to say something. Uh, Before you start any change in diet or exercise regime, whether we recommended somebody else or you think you should do it, always check with your individual healthcare provider first. Never just change your diet. And we have a disclaimer on our websites to that effect because we don't want people to get hurt. I know that people, for example, when you are diabetic and you inject yourself with insulin, you cannot fast. It's dangerous. So please check with your doctor. Don't just do something just because some person on internet, even if they are smart like Gary, recommends it. It may not be for you.
That's right. Due diligence is always important in everything you do. You should always learn and research and ask the advice of those that you trust.
And I know that in our 5D wellness community, we have a lot of health coaches, spiritual healers, and even physicians that are holistic healthcare physicians and a network marketer that help people get healthy products. And I have no problem with that. The problem is you need to know how to keep your audience safe, keep yourself safe as a business owner so you don't cross the law into getting liable for someone's health decline. And nowadays, people are fast to sue you. They are very fast to demand their money back if they're not healthy. We know that from negative experiences ourselves. We'll talk later about details what all makes business harder, but it's still so rewarding to help people to get something good. And we have a few people in our community, they're just wonderful people. So if you like what we are saying, feel free to join. It's free to join, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I'm so excited for this new endeavor. We have so many fascinating topics to jump into, and I think it'll be fun. It'll be entertaining, and you'll learn a lot. And it's just a casual conversation between Christine and I, which we do on a daily basis, and we learn from each other. And I'm very fortunate to co-found this community, the 5D Wellness community with Christine. We have such amazing members. I mean, we have such top level experts in so many different areas. You'd be amazed at the support that you can get within our community. It's awesome just to have conversations with our members and be able to learn from them because everybody in our community has special gifts, talents, skills, and they all want to share with the world just as we do. So we've been building this community out for that purpose, and we're bringing people together that want to do the same, share their gifts with everybody else, and we're all growing together. And it's a great environment. It's a healthy environment, and you would love to be part of it. So you should definitely check it out.
And we'll talk more about it as time goes on. But first, the next topic you're passionate about, and I was very surprised about it because you're so not about money and riches. But one of your passions is hard assets. Now, why don't you explain what that means?
Um, yes, I've been a fan of gold and silver for quite some time. Probably right before 2020, 2019, 2020, I started getting into that. God's money, I call it, right? It is God's money. It's here for us to use. It doesn't go away. You can't print like gold and silver, hard assets. You can't hack them. You can't bankrupt them. It really is anonymous. You got to hold it yourself, of course. If you don't hold it, you don't really own it, right? Possession's 9/10 of the law. Your money's in the bank. They're the custodian over your money. So do you really own it? I mean, the bank closes down, you can go bang on the doors all you want. Who are you going to cry to? You can't get that back.
Good
And
one.
it
Good
isn't even
question.
real money anyway. It's paper, it's digits on a screen. I like to hold the real stuff. Um, that, God intended us to have, that holds value forever.
Mm.
Whether the government says it does or not, because they don't always have our best interests at heart. We know that. But yeah, I love hard assets,
Can't
and
wait to talk more about it. And like in past times where treasures like that were buried someone in a safe place, we recommend you do that too. So if you break in one of our houses, you will find exactly nothing because it's well hidden at a safe space. I just want to tell those people that might watch the video and say, oh, he has gold and silver. I want to see where he lives and break into. Well, it's not there, sorry. And he doesn't even know it himself because he gave it to one of his kids to custodian, and I don't know even which one, and I don't want to know, right?
you're right, and you're absolutely right, Christine. And what I always tell people is, you get these hard assets, you bury them and forget about it. Like she mentioned, buried treasure. I mean, this used to be common practice back in the day. People had a can of money that they had put away for safekeeping. They buried it out in their yard. You've heard stories about that. The pirates buried their treasure on different islands. And I mean, of course, you always have to protect yourself. There's always demons and evildoers out there looking for an easy way to come up. And so you got to protect yourself. That's where the Second Amendment comes in. You want to be fully armed and protected. And I think of my properties as a fortress, a stronghold. Good luck trying to make it in. Um,
Gary, I just had a great idea about that because to not forget where you buried it, you need to have mental clarity, focus, and need to help your brain health. Now I know why you're interested in all your health topics, right? You want to keep your brain fresh so you don't get dementia and forget about where the money is in case you need it, right?
Absolutely. You got to have that treasure map somewhere, right?
So let's talk about the next topic that you best in your brain, right? Nobody can get there, or in the brain of somebody you love. Uh, that we are both family people. I know you love your family more than most things, except for God, probably, but the next is family. Now, fitness and weights training and resistance training. I know that's passions for you. And I know I love it too. I was member of the gym and I went out. I do it at home sometimes. I love Tai Chi. I love functional fitness, whatever you want to call it. So tell us why you love fitness.
Oh, I love it. I love working out. I mean, you feel so good after you do it. And I know it's hard to do a lot of times, but I like to do the things that are hard to do because I feel that's where the growth is. Like fasting, for instance, we talked about that. I mean, that's very hard. I feel like that's practicing discipline. If I can get better at discipline, I'm unstoppable. I can do anything. And working out's the same way. Of course, there's days I don't want to do it. I always joke around and say I have to bully myself because I have to force myself to do it. I know I'm going to feel better after doing it. So I'm like, just get started, you know, do that first rep, do that warm up, whatever it is to get the blood going. And then I end up doing more on that day when I didn't want to do it at all. But once I get started, I end up doing more because I feel so great. I'm like, this is good. Once you get going, that momentum builds and you're just going. And then you feel so great afterwards. I even use it to change my mindset sometimes. If I'm having a bad day, things just don't seem to be working out. I'm like, let me do a quick workout, 15, 20 minutes even. Changes everything in your brain. You feel better, changes your whole outlook on life and your day. And it's great. And it's very easy to do. You don't have to do an hour, 15 minutes of some good vigorous exercise changes everything instantly. It's quick and it feels great to do.
And of course, depending on your fitness level when you start as a couch potato, you don't want to go to the gym and lift weights all day. You will get injured. So again, safety is important. Always ask your doctor. We are all about it because we all want to feel safe. We all want to keep our loved ones as safe as we can. And we are all about it. We are very careful. We'll talk more in detail about it in our 5D Wellness community and, of course, in this show. And the next topic that you're famous for talking about, and I must say you always help me to achieve it too in some way, is clarity. What does it mean and why do you like it?
Oh, wow. Clarity, yes. Clarity is important. I think before clarity comes awareness. I believe when you're aware of something, and then you can start to see it more clearly. And when you can see things clearly, I think you are able to move forward and achieve your goals. Right. I think a big part to one thing I like to practice is establishing good habits. And when I feel like I'm seeing clearly and I know where my destination is, I can find the path to get there, the roadmap, and establishing good habits helps me stay on that path and moving forward. So gaining clarity is very important. You have to know where you want to go, where you're headed, and then you can go after that full speed, right?
I totally agree. And of course, the goal setting part comes in. And as you say, most people walk around the mountain of life all their life in circles. They get nowhere fast. But if you have a goal in mind and the goal is maybe the summit of the mountain, you have a clear goal, what you want to achieve. Whether you achieve it or not doesn't really matter if the goal has certain criteria, and we'll talk about that more. It's one of my passion topics that smart goals don't work, for example, in weight loss. Smart goals make you fail. You have to start with dumb goals. Now, if you want to know what dumb goals stands for, it's an acronym. They're not stupid, they're the opposite. They are the smartest goal to start with. And we'll talk about that more later and in our community, of course. This is a fascinating topic that I learned from Brandon Burchard a lot and from other mentors that I had over the years. And I'm so grateful that Gary and I met so we can throw all that back and forth and help each other keep going when the times gets hard. And that's exactly why I said to Gary one day, let's make it a community so others can join us if they want to, right? There's no obligation and we make it free to join because, hey, why wouldn't you, right? If you want to learn from us, if you like what Gary's saying, if you even like me, could be. Some people like really what me. That's okay. Gary does. That's nice. He's not my husband, by the way. And he has a wife. I have a husband. But we work together really well in business, and that's amazing. Now let's go to the next super important topic that I still struggle with, that I used to struggle the most with, and many people do these days. It's actually called a disease, although it's more distraction based. It's focused. Focus. How do you gain focus? Well, we talk about how, but what is it and why is it important to you?
Yes, that's a tough one, especially when we have so many different things going on a daily basis. It's hard to focus, but some it is definitely something you need to work on. And I think it's all has to do with where you put your attention, right? I believe I read before where attention goes, energy flows, something like that. And it's so true. So when you have 10 different things on your to-do list, you can only do one at a time. And I know, a lot of people talk about multitasking, and that's fine. Sometimes you can do that. But I find to really get things done and done right, um, focus on one thing at a time on your list. Break it down into a list by priority and tackle the high priority items first and chip away at it. I talk about micro actions. You don't have to achieve everything all at once. You can do it in little pieces, little bite size. Like, people like bite size. It's easy. And when it's easy, you're more likely to actually do it. So I like to break things down and simplify things as much as possible.
Hmm, love that. Focus is really important, and I think we should co-teach a course on that in the community. I would love to teach about it. And also, I love reading books. especially audiobooks are very helpful. I don't do anything in the house that I find boring without listening to something interesting. So we want to share a little bit about more of that, what I learn about books, how to read a book and benefit from it the most. There's a lot of tricks to it. Now, the next topic that Gary is most passionate about, and obviously I'm multi-interested, so I'm also interested in all that stuff. It's so fascinating and important. Positive thinking. What does it mean to you? What is it?
Oh, yes. Now, this one has always been challenging for me. I work on it still on a daily basis all the time. I mean, I think our brains have been conditioned and practically pre-wired to default to uh, negativity. I mean, we're bombarded with negativity all the time. It's all around us in chaos. So I am very intentional about my thoughts,
Mm,
um, especially when I'm alone. And I like to, I tell Christine I like the quiet time. Like I need that silence every day, right? I think God speaks in the silence. And so I like to shut everything down, um, so I can really connect. And that's where, I'm getting into prayer and meditation and just quieting everything down and really thinking. But I like to feed myself positive thoughts. I feel that I have to retrain my brain because it's been programmed with so much bad that if I'm not intentionally putting goodness in and overpowering the negative, I'm gonna get sucked into that negativity, and that doesn't feel good. Nobody wants to be there. I want to keep the frequency high, and I work at that to make it happen. And I think it's important to do that.
that's a very good point. And I must say, as a scientist, I studied brain science under Dr. Daniel Amen, Dr. Joseph McClendon, and Dr. Greenblatt too. And of course, the biochemistry of mental health, which is so important. And positive thinking is a consequence of several things. So sometimes psychology, again, alone is not enough. And I'm also a licensed team therapist, level one, because I love what's his name? I forget his name. David Burns says, Feeling Good Handbook and Feeling Great. Those are really great books. They are really great books. They help me a lot to feel great. So if it's just the thoughts that can help us, we'll talk more about it inside the community. And you're right, the brain is hardwired for negative thoughts, for fear. Why? Do you know why? I always ask Gary questions he doesn't know.
Um, I would think for survival.
Yeah, genau, that's it. But genau, see, I fall back in my German sometimes. It's my stupid brain doing it. That's just the brain. It defaults to certain things. Hey, it's okay. You're not perfect, sadly. I wish I was sometimes, but then I don't. My husband never fails to tell me that I'm not perfect, right? He's a nice guy.
But you
Just
can always strive to be perfect, right? And
no,
that's,
I want to be really good, the best I can be. That's
yeah,
what I want. And Dr. Amen says one, I always want to be the best. I always
yes,
want to be the best husband, father. I often fail at being it. I often make mistakes, but I always want it. That's the end goal. That's the top of the mountain that I'm trying to climb, as I say. I know what I want, the end goal. I know what I want. I want a great marriage. Is it always a great marriage? No, we fight. Freaking freak. But I always want a great marriage. So I'm working towards it. And that's the thing.
absolutely.
It's important to
Yes, you
know
will
what
never achieve
you
perfection, but we can always strive
want.
that direction, right? We can always try our best
It's all
to
about
be as good as we can.
progress, not perfection. Don't stay
That's
stagnant.
right. Yes,
Stagnant waters turn foul. And
that's
by
right.
evolution, I talk about it in actually, I think in my weight loss program, we'll do it together. We'll resurrect it because it's really good and helpful. It starts with intermittent fasting, which is exactly what you're an expert in, and that's how we met at some point in the past. And our evolution is hardwired our brain for fear. Why? Because it's necessary. As humans are by nature, and you can prove it with genetics, we are a prey animal. A tiger, a lion is a predator. Humans are by nature preys, like gazelles. That means we have an overhang of noradrenaline compared with adrenaline. Normally, in stress times, in anxiety, fear times, we have too much adrenaline on the long time. That's why stress is harmful. I worked on that too. We'll talk later about that kind. I'm very interested in that kind of thing too. I'm so much interested in anything. Why wouldn't you? It's so much interesting things on earth to learn if you're aligned with a higher power like we are. I'm so grateful for that. Now, that said, it's complicated, right? It's getting worse. It's getting even.
Oh, wow. It is, but it's there's just so much out there. There's so much noise out there, I should say. People are overstimulated, and that's where you lose focus. There's so many things coming at you, so much noise, it's hard to focus on what's in front of you. So it's important to quiet things down and take that time to establish that focus. And it's an interesting thing. Um, when I left the corporate world, I was overweight. I was like 80 pounds. I was like 260. And I dropped 80 pounds since then, years ago, and kept it off no problem. I mean, that was part of the fasting thing. But the one thing I did notice, and I always worked out, um, I was into lifting weights, I think, since probably junior high times, and I've always been into working out. But I always was big, and I always had a belly, and I was always doing the yo-yo dieting like everybody does, that trap. And what I come to find and learned after my research and fasting and learning about nutrition, I would say 80 to 90% of achieving my goals came through the nutrition side, not the fitness side. And I was always backwards in it. I always thought I'd work out more, I'm going to lose weight. I didn't lose weight. I got bigger, bulkier, more muscular, but I still always had a big belly, and I couldn't understand why. But when I dialed in my nutrition and cleaned my body out, that changed everything. So I think that's a huge part of it, is the nutrition aspect of weight loss.
And I did in the weight loss program I used to run, and might do it again. And you can apply for it. At the moment, I take only private clients, but later we might do a group program or course again, combined with other practitioners, because I love what they do too, some of them. And it's really true. There's 4 pillars of lasting weight loss, right? 4 pillars. It's of course nutrition. It's fitness too. It's it's not necessarily fitness, it's movement that we get. Even when we sit on the chair, we can move, right? And we can
Yes, movement,
and it's important
very important.
to engage muscles in a different way, because it's very important whether I do this with my hand, which is no intentional movement, or I move it slow and intentional, which burns 3 times as many calories and builds muscles while you do nothing else but doing this. So even when you have a Zoom meeting all day, you can get to train your muscles. I'm just building my arm muscle, my pecs, my deltoideus. You can do that. So we'll teach a little bit more of that. That's just fun, And the fun part is when it clicks, when knowledge transforms to intention and action, and it's
I think
applied.
that's so important, Christine. Movement is so important. And we talk about fitness and going to the gym. You don't have to do that. Any movement is great. You can walk briskly. You can stretching. These are all movements that help. And so don't ever think that I can't do this or that, because there's always other alternatives.
I really think what's important in the movement is that you are mindful when moving and
Mhm.
intentionally engage all muscles. I see a lot of my neighbors walk all day. What do? They chit chat. They don't pay attention to their body while they are walking. They probably get back pain or foot pain after a while, because they don't pay intentionally uh, in watch their body and focus on their body. And that's an important part of mindful movement. And we want to teach all that. Now, evolution teaches us to be afraid, because the tiger could be waiting for us behind the next tree. to eat us. So it's really important. I talk about that in the BLU talk, why people get fat and why it's so hard to lose weight and how to do it. Because as you said, you were 260 pounds, lost 80 and kept it off. Good. I congratulate them. There's a few people that achieved it. I'm also one. I weighed 325, 330 pounds. I was really fat. I have pictures of that. I decided at that point, because I tried the same as you, yo-yo dieting, and I didn't see another option than to have weight loss surgery, which is helpful, by the way. I know all about it too. I can help you. If you do the right things, choose the right surgeon, and then do the right aftercare for life. Don't stop taking the right supplements or you'll get deficient. Now I did that. I lost 150 pounds in 2 years and kept about 120 of it off till now. It's 20 years later. So I can honestly say it did work, but only if it's a trigger to a lifestyle change. Because I could eat ice cream all day now if I wanted to, right? But I've
Oh gosh, I love to eat. I love food. I always have. It's so
was
good, right?
addicted. Oh, candy, chocolate. I love chocolate. I still love it. Uh, Many people love cookies, cake, ice cream, chips. Oh my God, I still like it. But now I've learned to stop. And that is a thing where you need to train your brain for. And you can do it, you've learned it. You can learn it when you watch it. That's a part of brain health. Brain health, mental health, all together. And then another thing that you're passionate about, and I like it too, although in Canada we can't do too much of it, is gardening and growing your own food. Tell us about that.
Oh wow, that's a great topic too. I love all this stuff. Yeah, that came about mainly because I mentioned earlier about the research I was doing to try to improve my health. It was in decline. I started learning about nutrition and the food we eat, and especially the food supply here in the United States
Okay.
and things that are allowed to be in there. And I wanted to eat as clean as possible. And I got to the point where I felt that the only way to eat clean, or one of the best ways to eat clean, is to know where your food comes from. And the best way to do that is to grow your own. I had to cut out the middlemen, right? And so I got into gardening and I grow the things that I like to eat. And it's also, I think I love it because I like to get close to, I love nature. I love being outside. I love to get my hands in the dirt. I love to get grounded and connected. So that's a good way to do it. And it's peaceful and um, you're alone with your thoughts and connecting to the earth and nature and to God all at the same time. And you're growing food for yourself and your family, which I mean, it's just like wins all the way around. I love it.
Gorgeous. I love it too. And I love nothing more than going barefoot on natural ground, on grass, on soil, get dirty in the hands. Who cares? It's God's nature, God's creation.
We
And then,
need that.
and then you tend to something and grow. And I love growing people too. That's why I'm into personal growth. We don't grow plants, just we grow ourselves. We grow self-confident. We grow as people. One of my first famous books that I talk about on my TEDx talk is Carl Rogers, On Becoming a Person. I read that when I was 16. It fell serendipitously in my hand. I learned how to pronounce this word during the TED Talks. I pronounced it so often wrong because English is not my home tongue. So it was fascinating. And you learn so much if you not only read the book, but then understand, digest, and implement the learnings. I think that is crucial. And so many people, they don't apply the knowledge. They may have it. I asked many people, I talked to, have you read that book, say 1984, another famous book? And they tell me, oh, yeah, I read that. And I said, okay, what's in it? What's the name of the hero? What happened to him? I get a blank star. So that means they didn't read it. They zapped through the pages and had no understanding of the book. Now, there are certain books that are worth reading, and there's others that are entertainment, just like watching TV. Those $1 romances, novels, right? I wrote a few earlier because I love writing too, because although I'm not that good at it, but I love writing because it helps me to clear my mind and feel focused. Because when you write about a topic, you need to focus on the topic and break it down and learn about it. It's a great way to explore a topic you are interested in. And that's why I wrote all the blogs, but I learned about how to actually optimize it for SEO and AEO now for search engine searches. So other people find it too and may benefit from it. And I love doing it, and I'm looking forward to incorporating video in it. Gary is amazing in doing video and structuring it so it's interesting. Now, this one is probably pretty boring, honestly, but that's my fault because I just said push the button and let's record it. Somebody might watch it and somebody might not, and it doesn't matter because we wanted to talk about it anyway, right?
Right. And to get back to gardening, there's one thing I wanted to mention about gardening. Kids love gardening. I've learned that, with my grandchildren, my children, they like to play in the dirt, right? So it's such a good activity to do and to have the kids learn about it, learn how to grow their own food, which is important,
You
and they enjoy it. So I mean, this is, like I said, it's a win, 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 win all the way around.
You see kids grow up, you see plants grow up, and when kids see plant grow up, it helps them to connect with the realities of life. And not all
They
plants
love to
are.
see that they can plant a seed in the ground and then, things start to grow out of it. And it's just fascinating to them, right? They're just like, oh, they're so into it. They want to check it every day. They get impatient. They're anticipating that sprout coming out of the soil. So
We
it's
get
pretty
into
cool to see them
story
light
time.
up.
Stories are so important. Our brain thinks in images, and when we connect images and stories, that's how we learned for millions of years. We still do. The story of the seedling growing is fascinating, and there's a biblical story, and you're well aware of it. Depending on what soil the seed falls, it dies or it flourishes, right? It's very important.
Yes.
And we'll talk more about that later. And it's really fascinating. And when I wrote my first book about how to eat for vibrant health and energy, I talk a little bit about food quality because then it was not widely known how important it is. And still not, interestingly, or people wouldn't go on a Twinkie diet or similar nonsense. Now let's go to the next topic that's related, of course, nutrition. Oh my God, I love nutrition. It's a science and it is a skill and a wonder.
Yes, I touched on that a little bit earlier, and I love nutrition, and I think it's important. And I feel my body is a temple, and I treat it as such. I want to put the best things into it, and I often joke that people are more concerned about the type of gas that they put in their car, and they don't even care about what they're putting into their body. And that's, nutrition really changes everything. We talked about gut health. I mean, how are you going to get proper gut health if you're not putting the right things into your body? So I want to feed my body the best possible fuel available. And
Now
that's what
it's
I try to
funny
do.
because you also told me that you love grilling and barbecue, and that has been devilized because, of course, when you grill processed meats or you have a blackening on it, you have AGEs, like inflammatory molecules. It's true, you do. But
Yes,
there are ways to mitigate it with, for example, simple things like lemon juice or marinating. What do you like about grilling? And we'll talk about the details.
oh my gosh, I love grilling, barbecuing, smoking meat. I'm a meat eater for sure, 100%. I love meat. I love eggs. I love raw dairy. And there's something, I've always felt it's to be like therapeutic for me. Being out there by myself at the grill. Sometimes, you're smoking meat, it takes hours. It could take 12, 16 hours. You're doing a big brisket or something. And it gives me more of that quiet time, solitude. I get to be out in nature, which I love. Enjoying and absorbing all the beauty around me, the trees, the birds, the bees, the butterflies, all that. Just being out there feels so good. And then, you have um, big tray of meat when you're done. And I love to eat. I could just eat meat by itself. I love it so much. So
Hey,
And then, you know, you cook and you share and everybody wants to come eat and they enjoy it. And there's nothing better than having a big meal with all your family and everybody just enjoying the food. Feels
you know,
good.
it's a really interesting topic because, of course, I'm a scientist, I'm a physician, and a naturopath. Many people don't know that. So people will ask me, well, if I eat all that meat, they say red meat is bad for me. Now, nutrition science changes with the political environment, it seems, and with whoever pays for the advertising to say it very directly. When I researched for my first book, Eating for Vibrant Health, I learned all about food quality. And we'll talk about that more in detail. And it's really important that we know about that. And another thing that I get often thrown in my face, but what about animal rights? I don't want to kill anything. And I had a heated argument sometimes with, I would say, militant vegans. And they always get extremely angry at me because at the end, after I heard about their tirades, because why they think, and to be honest, in mass animal operations, it is not aligned with my values. I don't want to torture animals, but I do agree that humans are meant to eat animal products. That said, it's actually provable by science. There's not a single tribe in human on the earth that does not eat some kind of animal products. But
Right.
radical
We have the
vegans
teeth for it, right? We have the teeth for
can prove it.
it.
We are omnivores, just like chickens. Ah, so that's
I
a
mean, are you gonna tell a lion to go vegan or vegetarian? I mean, it's not natural. You know, we
so
need
we're in the
meat.
middle. We're in the middle, right? But we can eat meat and we can eat plants, and that's great. That's why humans have evolved so far because we can survive on either, which is great. Now, the reality is what I like to get vegans angry with. I say, okay, so you say animals, they can feel, and I agree they can. So it's a good idea to slaughter them as humanely as we can. Yes, absolutely. But I said, you have heard of the Killian photography, do you? And most of them say, yeah. And I say, you know that plants have an energy field, don't you? And they say, yes. So I say, if you bite into a carrot, does it feel pain? What do you think? You're killing carrots every day. Oh my God, they hate me. Oh, they hate me because I just proven to them that their way of thinking is wrong. Because it doesn't really matter what you heard. If we want to eat, we have to kill something else.
Yes,
It sounds
you're
harsh,
right. I mean, food is, you know, once alive, that's what provides the nutrients, I believe, right?
yeah. And
It's
then
not,
I,
you don't want dead food that has nothing to it.
well,
What's the
you
point?
know, it's quite interesting because I love the native traditions and I've learned a lot from them because the ancient peoples in the world, not just in North America, but all over the world. And humans have evolved from a long time, and humans came over to America long after the evolution came around. So we are all interconnected, we are all the same. That's my attitude. But there's traditions that when you kill an animal, when you hunt and kill an animal, that you say a prayer about it, over it. And that is a tradition that I love, saying thanks because that animal gave his life for you to eat. So, what I'm absolutely against is wasting food, killing animals for fun. I don't like that.
Mm, no.
I even told my husband that does catch and release sometimes in fishing. I said to him, I don't like it. If you catch a fish, how do you know you might hurt it? I don't know. But if you want to eat it, it's fine, right? There's one thing. Life is full of suffering. It's normal. At some point, we are prey maybe too, and that's just a fact of life. And we need to accept it. There is suffering in this life. We will experience it. It's fact of life. Get used to it. And we
It's
cannot
true.
spare others suffering. And we've seen it by parents. If they're so kind, they didn't want to discipline their children. What happened? They disabled their children for life. They are unable to function because they are not resilient enough. They have mental health issues. They think everybody else owes them the same They think everybody else is their servant. It doesn't work. That's harsh. And sometimes I like to be a little harsh and say, well, you have to adapt to reality. And life is not easy. And if you're at the point where you think life needs to be easy, well, maybe don't come into 5D wellness. But if you want to help others and yourself to overcome the hardships that you also feel and see, then you're at the right place, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Because there's clear differences between people, very clear differences. I don't think there's differences so much in color of skin, that's negligent, but in personality and ability. Oh, wow. That doesn't mean they're better or worse. And I want to make it clear. I feel we all are the same. My dear husband, he has no education and he's the smartest person I know. So it doesn't really matter as long as you strive to be the best you can. That's my
Yes.
basic
Every day you could get a little bit better every day. Be the best version of yourself that you can be. That's important. Why wouldn't you want to be the best that you can be? I think everybody should strive towards that.
yeah. It's so sad when anybody tells me, "Oh, I don't want to improve." I say, "Okay, that's your prerogative. Come back when you want to."
Try to make yourself better and try to help others do the same. I mean, we have to help each other out. We're all here trying to do the same thing. We're trying to navigate through this crazy, chaotic world. And I think we are stronger when we all come together and work towards improving this world around us. Makes things much more enjoyable, manageable, and it makes you want to live abundantly.
Yeah. Now, another of your favorite topics where you know a lot about is biblical principles applied to our life. Talk a little bit about why it's important to you. Was it always important?
It's always been there, but no, I really embraced it probably the most in the last 5 years when I went through this, whole lifestyle transformation. I'm trying to improve myself and be a better person and do the best I can. And I really got into the Bible more and started digging in and trying to practice those principles as much as possible. And it's just about doing the right thing. We always have choices to make every day, all the time, and I always want to do the right thing, the best thing for um, myself and others that it may impact. So that's what I try to do, and I think it's a great handbook to guide us in the right direction.
I couldn't agree more. And the Bible is one of the most important and one of the most misunderstood books of all time. And of course, what we know as the Bible is not all the books that are actually written and that talk about Jesus from all directions. And when Jesus lived, and even in the Old Testament, there's very, very many interesting stories and facts that actually have been proven in history to have happened. I loved listening sometimes to Jordan Peterson, who breaks down the Old Testament wonderfully and relates it to our current time. I love listening to people sometimes that are smarter than me. Uh, that happens, yeah, it does, to my great dismay, but it does. And then I say and wonder, wow, I should do it again. And at some point years ago, my brother came to me and said, you will go to hell because you don't believe in the Bible like I do. And I grew up as a Christian in the church, but Sunday Christian, right? You go to church Sundays, you don't listen, you play in the Sunday school, but you don't know anything. And then I became an atheist for a while because life disappointed me so big that I didn't feel any meaning in it. And then at some point I reconnected. I read it cover to cover just to prove my brother wrong. And when I read it cover to cover, and really every word, Old Testament to the last, it's more than 1,000 pages. It took me over a year to work my way through it. I found so many spots where I said, wow, really? True? Is that true? And I said, there's so much more in it than we are told. And there's many things in life where that's the case. And that's the reason in our Easy Eye system, I said to Gary, we have to have the Bible AI. We have to have that. And he said, sure. And it's great. And he still does our Bible quotes every Sunday in our newsletter, which is awesome. So if you want to come to the 5D Wellness community, you still can see that every Sunday. You can even get it and do it yourself. It's a great tool to express yourself. It's a great tool to do research and find Bible quotes easy. And it's a great tool to write about it because it has a coach in it. Whether you use it for yourself or for your business doesn't matter. It's great. It's great to use.
I think it's important, and it's important to practice and live it 24/7, 365. I think I know a lot of people that, they go to church 1 or 2 hours a week and they feel like that's all they have to do. And then all the rest of the time they can go around being not so pleasant or kind. And, it's something that you want to do always and live by, trying to do the right thing in every decision you make, each and every day, all the time.
And
And I think
Gary
that's
and I, we
important.
talk a lot about things like that. And there's never a right answer. There's only your answer, what's your personal. I mean, many people say there's no real truth. I think there is, but it's just very hard to discover. And I won't say that I have found it. I know it's in the Bible. I know there's truth in there. Do I up?
Well, yeah, I'll never stop searching
Yeah.
either. You're always searching and trying to learn and grow more. I mean, that's just part of life. Always be learning.
You said it before, and prayer is an important part of your life, and it is of mine too. And I try to live what Apostle Paul has said at one point. He said, pray without cessation. For me, it's the
Yes.
same as being in the moment, meditation, being in the now. You might recognize a book by Eckhart Tolle. Same thing. Mindfulness, pray without cessation. It's really powerful when you do that and are connected with the spiritual source that we call God. And it's really powerful. So I invite you to try it for yourself. It doesn't have to be a Christian God. There's others, although some faiths, I believe, have a negative thing attached to them. I don't know enough about it. I've talked with different biblical scholars about different faiths. There's good and bad things in every book and every piece. It always is, it always, everything seems to break or succeed at the implementation. We know what works in business. We know how it will look at the end. We know what we want. But the middle, the implementation, the steady hard work, the straightening of the system, the continuous improvement, the Japanese, I think they call it Kaizen, that plays a big role, or Ikigai, I think it's called. I'm not sure about the right word. Forgive me if I get it wrong. I get things wrong all the time. So please call me out, put it below if I said something wrong. If you know something more than us, please put it below in the comments. We want to hear from you. And we also will,
Yes, absolutely.
oh, the
Join the conversation.
yes, absolutely. We'll put the 5dwellness.org in the bottom of this video. Every video you'll find it, so you can join us for free and meet us in person maybe someday. That would be great. We'd love to meet you. Let's go
Yes,
on to more.
definitely.
We talked about self-care, I believe, which is important. We talked a little bit about meditation, and many of you know what it means. Now, you said also to me, I found that interesting, breathwork. Tell me about your love for breathwork.
Oh, yes, I love it. I think we forget to breathe or how to breathe, and I like to be intentional about breathing. It feels good. I think it helps regulate uh, everything. Sometimes, especially if you're in a conversation, it starts getting a little tense or heated. You feel your heart rate elevating, right? And you're getting riled up. And that's a sign to me, okay, I need to stop and breathe so I don't become reactionary. I don't want to lash out. I try to um, speak with intention, with my words. I think words are important, language is important. and words give off frequency. I want to use the right words. And I want to just react and lash out. So I want to breathe, slow things down, take it in, and then respond accordingly. So yeah, I think I practice breath work. There's a lot of different ways to do it, and you find one that works for you. And um, I love it. I do it several times a day, and it just really it resets me.
You know, you're right. And I learned that I think it was Dr. Amen who told everybody that when you breathe to calm yourself down, when I talked about stress, I think in the instant calm formula, I actually teach a combination of havening and breathing for instant stress relief. And it works 100% of the time if you practice it, which most people don't.
Yes,
But I learned it very fast because I needed to, and it helped me a lot to overcome the hardships of life and the stressors that living and business, especially entrepreneurship, brings with it. But daily life these days is quite stressful. So you need to know how to regulate your nervous system, how to reduce stress. And I know we have havening practitioners in our community, and we love havening. I myself have a certified havening practitioner. We have trainers. If you want to train to become a certified practitioner, I'll be happy to refer you. But also know that the best way to calm yourself down is to actually learn it, like Gary said, to learn just one breath, to have it as a trigger. When you're really feeling the upset or somebody said something that triggered you and you want to slash out, you want to kill them. It happens, right? We just had what was it, a chargeback request for somebody that we worked for, and it was totally a fraud. Wow, I really felt like killing that person. Now, I obviously won't do that because I don't enjoy being put to jail, which would be the consequence. So that's another thing you need brain health for, right? To see the consequences of your behavior and adjust your behavior accordingly so you don't do too much of the stupid thing that have bad consequences. But this is important, right? Breath work. And that's another thing I should put in the community, that course. It's right now, it's probably hard to find. I should put it in the community for people to join to be able to access. It's fascinating what all is out there, right?
there's so much available, and I'm going to use everything that I have access to that is going to make me better and feel better and perform better. You know, I want to reach peak performance. I want to be the best I can be. So, of course, I'm going to do all the things that help me achieve that. And, you know, these are some of the things that you can do, and anybody can do them. Doesn't cost money to practice breathing and to meditate and to, you know, all the things we talked about. That's all free. And I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm going to use it to make myself better. Why wouldn't I? I think that makes all the sense in the world.
Funny you say it's free, and not knowing it costs you dearly.
Yes,
It's really interesting because knowledge by itself is worthless because it's all out there. But I think these days, number one, you need to ask the right questions, which is hard. And you need to learn to know and love yourself and find the direction and get out of the rut and out of the circus of going round and around and paying attention to the wrong things, the distractions, the Maya as the mirage, as the Indian philosopher said. Philosophy is another one of my topics. One question that no philosopher and psychologist ever could answer, and I can't either, is what does it mean to live a good life? That's an unending question that you, dear listener, if you're still around, ask yourself, what does it mean for you? What does it mean for you to live a good life? What do you want to remember as? What do you want the
perfect.
afterworld to remember for you? So if those topics are topics that resonate with you, natural health, nutritional supplements, natural methods for healing, and good information and community, join us.
Yes, this was fun, Christine. I enjoyed it very much. I can't wait to start doing a weekly show and It'll be a little more focused on one topic at a time, so we're not all over the place. But it was nice to just touch on all these different points and, have a little short conversation about each one. I enjoyed it. It was great. And I hope some people out there enjoyed it as well. And if you want to dig into some more of these topics in more detail, follow us and join us. It'd be great.
Bye bye.
Take care, everybody.